Guys, for the interruption, guys. I opened my fridge this morning, right, and I was like, "Hey, that's a couple hot wings right there. Those are pretty good, right?" So I ate those two hot wings. I was just like chomp, chomp, munch them down, and then I drank a large Dunk's iced coffee, and I was like 15, 20 minutes later, I was like, my stomach had to tell me that's a bad idea. You shouldn't have done
status. 10 seconds.
I'm telling you, you had the bubble guts.
Oh man, yeah, that
half
happens.
Hour into the show, my stomach was like, "That's a bad idea. You shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking, but that was that. But oh, we were supposed to live a life full of bad ideas, Man,
I could probably do that when I was 21, but now I don't know about that.
Oh god.
So Shook, let's jump into some baseball, man.
Yes.
Into the MLB. Let's take it, but let's go rewind a little bit to the Red Sox and Yankees series, right? When they played each other. I went into that series saying that whoever, like, this series is going to play a massive role in what happens in the postseason. Like, this series could mean someone gets in or someone is left on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that there was a lot of weight, going into that series. The Yankees ended up absolutely just taking care of business and sweeping the Sox, and they did it. They did it on the heels of once again the Sox bullpen just lets them down. The perfect example was the Sunday night, the final game. It was a really good game into the seventh inning, and then Garrett Richards takes the mound, and it just falls apart at the seams. I just want to get your thoughts on that. That's because I think the Yankees, through that series, just little by little, man, have been building momentum headed into the. Don't you scratch my green screen. They were just building, like, throughout that series, just building momentum into the postseason. It was, for them to sweep the Sox was massive.
No question. And it was. And at the time, I was thinking, well, at least it looks like that we're going to be the ones that's going to be hosting the American League wildcard game. But I'm not going to talk smack, and I was planning to, but I'm not going to at all, actually, because we haven't had a day like this, and I want all of you who are watching and listening to really think about this with me for a moment. Yes, Chris Sale is in fact starting today. That's not I guess, that's a fact. He is in fact starting today, and a must win. We have not had a day like this to end the regular season since September 28th, 2011.
Yeah.
If you all remember that fateful final day of the 2011 Major League Baseball regular season, the best night in baseball history, bar none. This is it. This is it here. There's a reason why all of the games today are starting at 3:00. There's a reason why the Red Sox game is starting at 3. The Yankee game is starting at 3. So, in all honesty, I will be watching both games at the same time while I'm at the tailgate. Yeah. I'll be down at Gillette in just a bit. I tailgating before the game.
True fan.
And like, as it pertains to the Yankees Red Sox series last weekend, I feel like now it means something, but it doesn't mean as much a week later because so much has changed over the course of the past 3 days alone. I could have said a lot has changed over the past week, yeah, but just these three days alone, a lot has changed. And now, here we are. If all things fall into place, we could be looking at a 4-way tie.
Yeah,
the Mariners won last night.
Yeah,
so that's a very real possibility. And ladies and gentlemen,
crazy.
We have never seen anything like this in baseball history. We have not.
150 years.
It literally comes down to one night,
One
like
day,
tonight.
no, one afternoon where this is exactly why Major League Baseball said we're going to start all the games at the same time today, 3:10. If you go on MLB.com and you look at the time for first pitch for all the games today, the regular season finale,
3 p.m.
this is it, 3:10.
Yeah.
That is the reason why. So if you're going to be flipping between NFL and flipping between Red Zone and MLB Network, and if you're here in New England, locally in Boston or across New England, watching on Nesson for all of my folks back in New York, if you're watching the Yankees on Yes Network, you're going to be basically channel surfing because it actually matters. Yeah, there's no tomorrow for regular season unless it's a tiebreaker.
I know I'm going to have Nesson, the pregame for the Pats, and the Yes Network just on standby, just going back and forth between all of them.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, like it's literally must-see TV. This is when baseball is at its absolute best, when it's drama like this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to put this and make this abundantly clear. If you did not appreciate what we saw in 2011 on that final day, September 28th, 2011, you're going to appreciate today. Mark my words. You're going to appreciate today. If you didn't appreciate it back then. And that was back when there was only one wild card. This was the last year of the one wild card. Because the 2 wild card system in both leagues, in the American League and the National League, started the following year.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It really is. It's amazing. And it goes to show that baseball is learning from their mistakes and learning to evolve and stuff and keep things interesting. So that's good. Good for baseball. I mean, I know that during the late steroid era, mid 2000s, I was very much into baseball. A lot of people like me were into baseball. Now the game's changed. It's still interesting, but you got to suck us back in. You know what I mean? But I mean, I this is interesting though. This is a very interesting day. I'll be watching, and I'm not even a team of any. I'm a Cubs fan, so we're out of it. But I'll still be watching.
You won your World Series in 2016, so
we got it.
And Greg or John, man, I'm rooting for the 4-way tie. and I'm a diehard Yankee fan. And as you guys, if you guys follow me on Twitter or at Shukri Wrights, like that's not a secret. I'm a diehard passionate Yankee fan, lifelong Yankee fan. I'm actually rooting for a 4-way tie. Give me chaos. I want chaos.
The 4-way tie would be
it'd be Yankees, Red Sox, Seattle, and Toronto.
They all win, right? Everybody wins, right?
If the Yankees and Red Sox win, they wrap up.
They're done, right? So yeah, they wrap it up.
If Yankees, Red Sox lose,
yeah,
Seattle and Toronto win,
it's a 4-way. It's a 4-way tie. Yeah.
That is. Let's see again. We have not seen this in baseball history ever. The last tie-breaking game that we had was, give me a moment to re-jog my memory, was actually one of the most memorable games in baseball history. And if you remember the Padres-Rockies game in 2007, game 163 for the wild card, that was the tiebreaker.
If we do get a 4-way tie, that's going to be chaos.
And also, by the way, I just remembered 2008 Twins White Sox. There was a game 163 in Chicago for the American League Central. And also another memorable game. But a 4-way tie, we have never had anything like this. Never.
It was wild. And I'm rooting for it too.
And by 8 o'clock tonight, we could be talking about a 4-way tie.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, baseball universe will be exploding with absolute, oh my God, this is happening. Oh yeah.
We're gonna get. So let's talk the Yanks. Let's talk the Yanks and the Sox. If they do win and wrap up, and it's a done deal, and we're playing each other for the in the wild card. I assume Boston would be hosting.
Yes,
Right.
they would.
They would be
'Cause
hosting,
have
right?
the tiebreaker
Now,
because of the
would
head-to-head.
would the Yankees would they throw Garrett Cole in that game, or who would go for them? Because
It would have
the
to be
Sox have
Garrett-
announced, the Sox have already said it would be Nate Eovaldi. They would
It would
pitch
have to
Eovaldi.
be Garrett Cole. It'd have to be Garrett Cole, no question in my mind.
That-
I mean, I don't see them. Hold on, I don't see them starting Garrett Cole today. Like, there's no freaking way. Like, I get that, yeah, you have to win, but again, if the Yankees lose today, their season's not over.
Yeah,
Like,
no doubt.
At
And neither with the
very
Sox. If
worst-
they lose, it's not over. They can still
exactly.
play another
At the
game.
very worst, it's a tie. You're going to the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
For the Yankees, that is. I'm talking about specifically. So
Right.
So with that being said, they're not completely screwed. But I just also want to make this point real quick as an important piece. This is not a side note, because this is an important piece here. We can't talk about the chaos with the American League wild card without talking about what's going on in the National League West.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the hell was the last time that we've seen the Giants and the Dodgers separate by one game going into today's final day of the regular season?
Yeah,
And by the way, the
That's
Dodgers,
crazy.
they won, 106 games?
yeah.
And the Giants have won 106 games. The Dodgers have won like
I think 103.
something like that. But I'm actually going to double check the standings right now just to make sure I get my facts
No,
correct.
105. I think the Dodgers have. I think.
In fact, I'm going to tell you that right now. Just bear with me. But anyway, in terms of the Giants and the Dodgers, they're separated by one game. They both have won more than 104 games. Imagine if both teams, if they end up with a tie,
Yeah,
a four-way tie in the American League wild card, and a tie in the for the NL West, dude.
I know.
Crazy.
Tomorrow, I'm canceling all plans. I'm not leaving my house. I'm watching every single baseball game there is to be watched. Can you
You have
imagine?
to, right?
Like, by the way, Dodgers have won 105 and the Giants have won 106 games.
Yeah.
And here's what's scary. Thank you, Cab's family. I'm not sure what your name is, but I just want to give you a quick shout out. But imagine the following: you are the Giants. You lose today. The Dodgers win today. And guess who awaits you? The scariest team in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Cardinals, who have won 17
Who just won
in a row.
17 in a
Dangerous.
row, and although that winning streak was snapped on Friday night, they still continue to win. But that team is effing scary.
Dude, the
between-
Cardinals right now are white hot. Like
Not red hot, no, completely white hot. Like,
Yeah.
if you are the Dodgers or the Giants, you do not want to face the Cardinals. That's the team
No.
you do not want to face, because guess
dude,
what?
I don't think anybody in the West wants to face them now. They're like, dude, they're ridiculous.
It's insane, and it's scary when you talk about how one team, the Giants or the Dodgers, if either team ends up in a wild card game, their season could be done.
Yeah.
Imagine
The
winning
Cardinals could
107
finish off
imagine-
one of those teams. Think about that.
imagine you win 107 or 106 games, and your season's done in one
Yeah.
game in a wild card game. Just imagine. This could actually be worse than the 1993 San Francisco Giants, where they won 103 games and still missed the playoffs on the final day of the 1993 regular season.
What? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Atlanta Braves, they
Wow.
were in the National League West at the time. This is before
Over
the
100
divisions-
games and you missed the
oh,
playoffs?
That was that
Wow.
Greg
This
that
is
was
when it
that
was
Greg
national-
Maddox
national-
team. That was the team that
How
was
the
stacked,
hell?
right?
The Braves, oh yeah, with
That was that
Glavine,
Greg
Smoltz,
Maddox. What's
Smoltz
that whole?
and
Yeah,
Tom
that
Glavine.
was Greg Maddox and John Smoltz. That
and Tom
they-
Glavine, the big three. That was the first year of the big
Yeah.
three.
they
Atlanta.
mowed through that whole league, and then they got bounced.
No, false. They didn't mow through. No, they were down by 10. I think like 10 games, if I remember correctly, in '93, and Barry Bonds went into the clubhouse at the All-Star game and told one of the Braves All-Stars saying, "You're not going to catch us." They went out and they got Fred McGriff at the trade deadline. And for all of you baseball fans from the 90s, like myself, you remember who Fred McGriff was, and that was a bad man just at the beginning of the steroid era.
Yeah.
Like,
McGriff was a beast.
Like he was. Yeah, he really was.
Oh,
like,
dude,
he's a good player.
Dude, he'd hit home runs that like would take minutes to land.
Yeah, at all freaking Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. Like, they get him and the Braves catch fire, literally.
Fred McGriff, man, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Like during the final weekend of the season, Giants are in Los Angeles to play the Dodgers. The Braves, I don't remember who they're playing at home, but they were playing at home. They won their game. The Giants lost. They're playing out west. Man, it would be a shame that the Giants or the Dodgers season came to an end after losing, if they were to lose to the Cardinals in the wild card game.
The Cardinals could do that too. They are that like the dude. Momentum is a scary thing.
And baseball is everything.
It's a scary
everything.
Thing.
Go ask the 2011 Cardinals. I'm serious.
I hate to bring it up, but the 04.
The 04 Red Sox.
The Red Sox in 04.
Yeah. Them too. The 04 Red Sox. But
after they beat I said this as soon as they beat the Yankees in that 04 run.
LCS, yeah.
I was like, that's it. No other team is going to even challenge. Like, that was their challenge. That was their Mount Everest. They had to get there and beat that team and prove that to get that curse off their backs. You know.
Absolutely.
And when they beat the Yankees, I was like, that's it, man. They're winning this. They are winning all this because that was the team that was the team that was gonna push them to their limit and possibly knock them out. And they got rid of them.
And this is why, like, also to your point about 04, that momentum is everything.
Everything.
But if you're talking about and Greg or John, I want to address this comment real quick. 105 wins for a wildcard team in your season could be done in one game. Yeah.
Yep.
That is the reality that's facing either the Giants or the Dodgers. Giants have won 106 games coming into today. The Dodgers have won 105. And if either one of those two teams were to fall into the wildcard game and they lose to the Cardinals, I don't know, man. That's a pill that's extremely tough to swallow, especially for the Dodgers being the defending world champions at that.
Well, and also if the Cardinals can knock one of those teams out, what competition's left for them?
There's no real competition left.
That's what I mean. That's their biggest. If they can knock out one of the Giants or the Dodgers, I mean that the West would be, the NL would be wide open.
Yeah, but like, oh man, but going back to momentum in baseball, why it's so critical. And I keep mentioning about the 2011 Cardinals because their run started not in October. Their run started at the end of August or the beginning of September of that year.
Yeah.
I vividly remember they were 10.5 games out of the wild card. This is when there was only one wild card per league. Yeah. This is a year before they went to two wild cards in both leagues, in American League and National League. They were 10.5 games out. Atlanta was a team that was in that held the comfortable spot for the wild card. And the thing that I remember most is that the Cardinals just kept chipping away.
Yep.
Kept chipping, and they kept coming, and Atlanta got cold. They got absolutely cold. And then that final day of the season, Chris Carpenter pitches that complete game against the Astros. This is when the Astros were still in the National League, ladies and gentlemen. And then they went into the clubhouse. They're waiting for the Atlanta Phillies game because the Phillies won 102 games that year in 2011. They were the prohibitive favorite. They were the prohibitive favorite to get to the World Series again in the National League that year.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was when they had the late Hall of Famer Roy Halladay.
Yep.
Cliff Lee, who was at the top of his game at the time, and Roy Oswalt.
Yeah.
But St. Louis said, Hi, I'm Chaos, and I've come to wreck your postseason party. And they did. Game 5, another complete game by Chris Carpenter over Roy Halladay. 1-0, a 1-0 win. Complete game.
My name is Mayhem. Welcome to my world.
Mayhem from Allstate. Like,
that was a good one. Got the analogies, man.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, thank you. I'm Mayhem.
But it's so let's kind of dive into the playoff run this year, Shuk.
Yes.
I want to get your thoughts on the Yankees this year, because just like the Sox, man, it's been a freaking roller coaster. Both of our teams, man. It's been the Yankees started off just dead and flat and putrid. It was brutal. Like what the Sox second half of the season was after the deadline was what exactly the Yankees went through. We completely flip-flopped. For a while, the way it went like, and I remember even saying when the Yanks were playing like they were playing at the beginning of the year, I was like, you freaking watch. This is gonna once again, it seems like both of our playoff lives always come back to like each other. It's why is it always gotta be the Sox and Yanks at the end of the season just like bare knuckle fighting each other out for? It's always going to be like that, man. And I remember even like before the All-Star break, I was like, you freaking watch. This is going to end up being the Sox and Yanks at the end of the year again.
And lo and behold, you're right. Because again, best case scenario, both teams win. It's Yankees, Red Sox in the AL wild card. And I was telling someone last night at the Bruins game that I was at against the Rangers that if that happens, both cities are going to shut down on Tuesday. I'm serious. Boston is going to shut down. New York, that will be the talk of the city. Because I'm from New York, born and raised, for those of you that don't know. So I know when the Yankees are in October, but especially Yankees, Red Sox, there's nothing else to talk about. Nothing else matters. Not the Giants, not the Jets, not the Rangers, not the Brooklyn Nets. Hell, not even the New York Knicks. It's Yankees, Red Sox. The Yankees are the talk of the town. And if that's going to be the case, man, every baseball fan across the country is watching, because no other matchup draws like the Yankees Red Sox draw in October. Period. We're all old enough to remember 2003 and 2004, like back-to-back ALCS is like that. What's understood does not need to be explained. The
storyline between those 03 and 04 was just. The way the Yankees did it in 03 to the Sox, and the way the Sox came right back the next year.
That was
it was.
We will never see that again.
I'll never forget that.
Never.
I am willing to put this on my grave, wherever that is. We will never see anything like that again. Not in our lifetime, at least. No way.
Like, not breaking a curse like that.
Like no, not
in our lifetime.
Because like we're past like the curse era in baseball. Because at one point, it was the Red Sox 86 years, the White Sox 88 years, the Cubs 108 years. But that's all gone now. They've all won at least one title since.
Yeah.
So like that's why I say that I genuinely believe, and I put this on my own grave, we are never going to see anything with the likes of 03 and 04 in baseball with the Yankees and Red Sox ever again. We're not going to, because both teams have won championships since.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees won in 09, obviously. The Red Sox have won in 04, 07, 13, and 18. So both teams have won. So what made 03 and 04 so special was that the Red Sox, they were in the midst of their 85-year title drought in 03. The Yankees, we were still trying to get back to the World Series.
Yeah.
So winning the title for the first time since 2000. And
with A-Rod and all that.
Like, no, 03 was before A-Rod. 04 is when we got A-Rod in February of 04, which only added more fuel to the fire of the rivalry.
You got it. Yeah, you got to win now.
So which is why that I'm like, we're never going to see anything like that again. And in many ways, and I was talking about this with another Bruins fan at the game last night, who was also a Red Sox fan. I'm like, dude, we had it good, and we're not going to get that back. We are not going to get that back. Yes, if they would have meet on Tuesday, it'd be phenomenal. It'd be great. But it's not going to be the same. The hatred is not going to be the same.
See, I was just going to... Back in the day, bro, teams hate it. Like the Sox and Yankees, there was legitimate bad blood back in the day. There was legit bad blood.
Yes.
They hated each other.
Like, it's true because I remember I grew up in New York going to old Yankee Stadium for Yankee games.
Yeah.
And it's not fallacy, but it's truth. Like, the old adage was if you went to Yankee Stadium with outright Red Sox gear, you're getting pummeled. That's not a myth. That was true.
Oh, no, straight facts.
That was old Yankee Stadium, like back in 03, 04. Like, you could not walk there and get out alive.
Bro, they would flip Red Sox fans' cars on its side. Oh, dude, it was brutal. Dude, they would light Red Sox fans' cars on fire. Oh, it was a madhouse. And the same thing, dude. If in from like the early 2000s, if you showed up at Red Sox Stadium in Yankee gear, you had a set on you because that was
I've heard
that was a no-fly zone for those colors.
That's awesome.
It was the we all remember Zimmer down.
I love that.
The rivalries, they're still there. They are. They're still there, but they will never be as like deep rooted as they were back in the day.
Oh,
a lot of fights you see now, it's like drunken people. It's not about the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna have like a Pedro and Kareem Garcia moment again. You're not gonna have a Pedro defending himself against the late Don Zimmer like ever again. Like, you're not gonna have bullpen fights between Jeff Nelson and Red Sox fans trying to be jackasses getting into the Yankee bullpen. Like, you're not gonna have that anymore. Like, it's changed.
Like, how many times did the Yanks and Red Sox charge? How many times did the Yanks and Red Sox charge the mound because they buzzed them under the chin?
Oh man,
you know, like benches were
as you said
when you watched the Red Sox game in the early Red Sox Yankee game in the early 2000s, like from 98 to like 06, 08.
Yeah,
right?
That era.
From 98 to 08. The benches were going to clear at least once a game in one of those, in that sit. Like, you knew it. You just knew. You didn't know when it was going to happen. You just knew it was going to happen.
It was just a matter of when, not if. When.
Yeah.
Do you guys think? Oh, never mind. I'll say that in a second.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, do you guys think maybe that Moneyball made the game less cultural and less like, for instance, let me give you an example. Like, during that era, everyone was so emotionally invested, like Yankees Red Sox, you know what I mean? Like, unless your name was Johnny Damon or something like that, did I say his name right? Yeah. Unless your name was him, then you don't give just getting whoever pays the most. But like, besides him, everybody who was on the Red Sox, you were a Red Sox for life. If you were on the Yankees, you're Yankees for life. Nowadays, with Moneyball, with people like the transactions being like very analytical, I think it's like players move around more, maybe not all the time, but maybe there's less invested in like, all right, I'm a Red Sox player now. What do you guys think about that?
I think
it would suck, huh?
I'm thinking long and hard about this. I don't think it was analytics that really drove a lot of people away. I think analytics is what really destroyed the sport from within. All it did is just like presented an ugly product on the field. Like,
well, yeah, because nothing's the eyeball test anymore. You know, perfect example, right?
True.
Last night, Tanner Houck pitching.
I saw
not a single base runner allowed through 5 innings, and Cora takes him out. Dude, you let that guy roll. Like, let him roll.
Yeah, instead of like following the formula, like,
I don't give a shit about the like.
It blew my mind. Yeah, I didn't.
The guy was rolling. Let him pitch. Like
the soul of the game. It's
like momentum. Why are you gonna mess with the kids? Why are you gonna mess with the kid's mojo when he's got it rolling for you? And you get to save the bullpen. You know what I mean? You get to save the bullpen at the same time. You don't have to waste any. Just let the kid roll. And it's like
optimize the fun out of the game. That's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's not fun, but you know.
But that's a perfect example of what's like you said, dude. Like the it's like I'm I'm old school baseball, dude. Like old school. I analytics and the way they manage it now is like it's destroying the game, man.
Like I openly declared war on analytics the day of Game 6 of the 2020 World Series. That ill-fated decision by Rays manager Kevin Cash to pull Blake Snell in that fateful 7th inning when he's rolling through that Dodger lineup and the Rays were down 3-2 in that World Series. That in itself is something I have not forgotten. I cannot get over. Like you make the decision based on analytics. I remember ripping him apart on the air last year at that time. Like
it becomes a cop out too.
Like it was a cop out. I'm like you moron. This is exactly what's wrong with baseball. You're so effing analytically driven now that you forgot to use your effing eyeballs to make sensible, logical managerial decisions. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Like pulling Tanner Hoak after 5 perfect innings for what? For what? We're trying to save him from what? You're trying to save him for what? You have a game that you're trying to win, and he's rolling.
You're in a must-win situation, and your pitcher is rolling, and you're gonna take. No. You let that dude roll as long as he can.
I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care what the numbers say.
But that's another thing too. It's almost like they're afraid to go against the analytics. It's almost like they're afraid to go against them.
This is why they hide Chaim Bloom, because Chaim Bloom is the perfect scapegoat and the public face behind the true inner workings of that team. Analytics driven. We're not going to use our eyeballs. We're going to make our decisions based on analytics, and that's going to be that. Like what
I think they're doing too much. You got to have I think you can have a hybrid. I think you can have an analytical type of idea, an analytical type of formula, but also, recognize the moments. You know what I mean? It's important to know. That's what a manager's for. Like your manager should have overwhelming ability to do that. Yeah. But Moneyball, it's like they neutered. Like I remember watching that movie. It's like they neutered the manager, and it's like if you neuter the manager, you're neutering the game too. So
exactly. And it becomes like why bother having a manager? Like
have the GM make calls.
You might as well be the GM and the manager. You cut out the middleman.
Exactly.
I mean,
all right. So closing arguments on the Sox and Yanks, man. We're in for a wild final game of the regular season, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. The postseason's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be interesting. I got a feeling we're gonna get Sox and Yanks again, and it's just gonna be a war of attrition, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun to just watch that unfold, man.
It's gonna be absolutely chaos, and I'm rooting for chaos today. Like I cannot wait. Like I am just genuinely like. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, as a baseball fan, this is exactly what all you can ask for.
This is what we need. This is what baseball needs.
Like baseball needs is kind of like this kind of drama. This is when baseball is truly at its complete utter best. Like this is where like you got fans in multiple cities that are invested. The Mariners, they are a story in its own right. They haven't made the playoffs since winning 116 games in 2001, which is the longest drought in all of professional sports. It's like I mean, goodness grief. Yeah. Like, what else can you possibly ask for if you're a baseball fan? Yankees, Red Sox, New York, Boston's going to be watching. New England's going to be watching. Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco. I mean, Toronto. They're going to be watching. It's going to be a great day for baseball, and I can't wait.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So let's go from the diamond to the ice, Shook, and talk some Bruins here real quick. And then I got a couple of I got a couple of questions for you at the end, just for fun. But we'll get to the Bruins. What do you think of their offseason, man? What do you think of how do you think the Bees handled the offseason this year? Because I'm telling you, dude, they are, and I think we as Bruins fans know this. They're running out of time with the core. They're running out of time with the core of that team to win another one. If they don't win it in the next 2 seasons, that Bergie Marchand, that Bergie Marchand pasta, that the core of that team is going to get broke. I have a feeling they're just going to get broken up if they don't win it in the next 2 years.
This year, because Bergeron is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Yeah, and I'm telling Bruin fans now to prepare for the unexpected. And like the offseason, I like what they did. I like what they did in terms of adding Thomas Nosek, Derek Forbort, Nick Foligno, Eric Haula. Like, I like what I saw, like, a lot. And I mean, what happens at the second line center position, I think is ultimately, I want Justin Nichols to win the job, but I think it's going to be Charlie Coyle that ends up taking over that role, because it just looks like Justin Nichols is going to go down to Providence to get some more seasoning, and so forth. So like, I think the offseason, I give it like a B+.
Yep.
But the goaltending is really going to be the big concern for me, because like we're about to find out just how good we may have had it with Tuukka Rask, given that he's going to be out until at least January, February, or the earliest, with the surgery that he had. So that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye out on for sure.
I definitely feel the same way. They did a pretty good job addressing some of the issues. There's still some that are definitely big question marks. The center depth is going to be a question mark, and the guys that they brought in have to perform, or they have to live up to their ceilings, or their potential, or they're not gonna go anywhere. They have to. I'm sick of saying there's potential with this team. Like, how many times have we said there's potential here, and it never gets there. It never gets to where it needs to be.
Potential gets you fired.
Potential doesn't win you championships, and you're right, JD. It does get you fired.
Yeah,
but the Bruins are at a point now where I definitely think that they are at a crossroads, because the reality is this: it's like, it's not that this team is losing talent or like deteriorating, but with the core of Bergeron, Marchand, and just Tuukka now left. I mean, just Bergeron and Marchand are the only 2 players left in terms of like the actual core group, not including goalies that were on that 2011 Cup team. I think that time is truly, when they have maybe a 10% window left. That other 90% is closed. So I definitely think that that they really got to try to get it done this season.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Well, so just for fun here at the end, I know you got. I appreciate your time, man. I know we've taken up a lot of it. Thank you again for coming on. So just so before we let you go, so I want to know your favorite Patriots moment that you've seen, your favorite Bruins moment you've seen, and your favorite Yankee moment that you've got to see in sports, man.
Favorite Bruin moment for me, wow, it's the Stanley Cup is up there in 2011. But yeah, I think that one. But a very close second is that Game 7 against Toronto in 2013, the comeback from 4-1 down. That one was special. That one was very special, considering that at the time, like, this was still what the Bruins were. They had great teams.
Yeah,
like you still had that core with Chara, Boychuk, obviously with Bergeron, Krejci, Milan Lucic, Adam McQuaid, those guys, Chris Kelly, and like they still had a great team, as well as Nathan Horton was still on the team at the time. So that I have to say 2011. Patriots Super Bowl 51, no question. No question for me. That one is the ultimate moment. That one was the moment for me that I really enjoyed the most. Yankees. I have to say, wow. I gotta say 1998. That was the team that really made me a fan for life. As a 7-year-old growing up in New York, that 98 team was
How many legends are on that team too? How many legends of baseball were on that team?
I mean, Jeter, the Hall of Famer, Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer to ever walk this earth, Hall of Famer.
The Sandman.
Sandman. Like Bernie Williams, the all-time great Yankee. And as well as you talk about the other guys that were on that team that were equally as important. Paul O'Neill, Scott Brosius, the MVP of the 98 World Series. Yeah. Jorge Posada, Girardi, and talking about the pitchers like David Well, Andy Pettit, David Cone.
Yeah.
Those games, and also don't not forget the rookie El Duque, Orlando Hernandez as well. Like, for me, that team for me was by far the best Yankee team I've seen in my lifetime, no question. From top to bottom, they won 125 games in total, winning the World Series and sweeping it down. It was really just sweeping the World Series in 98.
That team was something else, man. That team was something else.
Yeah, like they had everything: starting pitching, bullpen, lineup. This was not a lineup in which that they were home run hitters. Like the most home runs a single hitter had in our starting lineup was 28 home runs, and that was Tino Martinez in 98. We just knew how to get on base, take advantage of hitting with runners in scoring position, and that 98 team did it better than any team I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, no doubt. But thanks again, Shook. I appreciate you coming on, man, and hanging out with us for a bit. I know you're busy, and I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but I definitely appreciate the time, man. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me on. I had a tremendous blast with you guys this morning, and amazing. I absolutely can't wait to see the finished product of this episode, as well as like the feedback, any feedback that you guys may get as well. So I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you guys.
No problem, Shook. You have a good one, buddy. Go.